Ramos Victreebel, welcome back another Opponent Master video. So today we're gonna go over, the units, or well, the units, I guess, in the second half of the anniversary, right? Sygna, Serena, the Ramos grid, the Wikstrom grid, and then the other guy's grid, Wulfric, right? And we'll talk about them, grid-wise, team comp-wise, all that stuff, lucky skill, etc. So yeah, as we usually do. So, anyways. I'll have the timestamps down below. You guys could skip to whichever part you're looking for, right? Starting with Serena. So we'd have to use the other site, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. It's a fine site, I think. I just feel like, just for like layout wise, Synchron Helper is a bit more clean on camera, but I mean, it's a fine site, all that stuff. It's just that Synchron Helper doesn't have Serena up right now, so it's fine. It's fine. Anyways, let's check it out. So Serena over here. Again, there's nothing too interesting about the kit to really talk about, other than you restrain the opponent, so you could get the restraining sync up or power hold 5 at complete form, and then you just slam the opponent, right? Basically, you can max out your own crit yourself. You can max out your own special attack yourself as well, right? So you don't really need any offensive buffer in that sense, right? So you could free up space to throw in some other stuff instead, right? So anyways, yeah, that being said, let's check out in terms of lucky skills wise, I'd say crit strike 2 generally, right? If you want a bit more damage, yeah, that's basically it. Crit strike 2. You don't really want anything else, I guess. Super power 3 if you only run our super effective, which I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, I do think Crit Strike 2 is probably the best one over here in terms of lucky skills. So anyways, let's go into the grid, right? So starting at 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, you do not have much. You just have the move gauge refreshes on your moves. Again, depends if you're using her for 1,000 waves and you do 1,000 wave stuff. You want to use her for Core Enforcer, then you pick up Core Enforcer stuff, right? Pretty simple, straightforward. For Core Enforcer, you want to pick up the extra special attack. For 1,000 waves, you want to pick up the extra physical attack, right? Basically, yeah, just really depends. And then you could save a bit of orbs. If you don't care about saving orbs, then you could just pick up like everything, right? So anyways, moving on to 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5, you do have like 1 or 2 things, right? I personally find our grid very uninteresting, but you do have hold hostage 1 here if you care, right? You have both move gauge refreshes for Core Enforcer here as well, so you could pick both of those up. Core Enforcer is definitely the better option usually, right? Just pick up all the Core Enforcer stuff over here that you could really go for. And there's all special attack up 10 over here, which is something, I guess, right? Pick up the speed over here, the speed over here as well. There's another speed over here, and that's basically it. I mean, there's 4 left. You could go for some HP, maybe defense, whatever, double HP. But yeah, that's for Core Enforcer, obviously. And then for 1,000 waves, you go pick up the 1,000 wave stuff. Pretty simple, straightforward. Again, you still have 4 left. Pick up some HP if you want, some defense, whatever, right? So yeah, that's I don't really care about the sand stuff. Like, you don't really want to run her in sand, honestly, so there's that, I guess. At 3 out of 5, so at 3 out of 5, you do have is there like 1 reset button? At 3 out of 5, you basically have the whole grid, obviously, and again, we'll split this into Core Enforcer slash 1,000 waves, right? So for Core Enforcer, you want to get brain power, right? That's the big one. You want to get brain power. You want the sync move power up node over here as well. If you are syncing with her, which she is a pretty good sync. If you're hitting super effective, then super duper effective too. If not, then you could ignore that, really. And you could pick up 1 of these move gauge refreshes. Actually, you could probably pick up the better one. Just go over here, pick up special attack as well, right? That yeah, I think something like this would be decent. If you want to soften up, you could do that as well. Just again, drop something like a super duper effective. Just want guaranteed crit, all that stuff. Or if you want the move gauge refresh and drop hold hostage, that's fine too, right? you could also do that. Hold hostage, I'm not a huge fan of. It's only 10%. It's not really that worth it. And you have to use an extra turn of like 1,000 waves to even like restrain them in the first place. I personally don't find this really worth it, but you know, if you want, then you go for that. But yeah, that's if you're sinking. If you're not sinking, then well, there's a lot of things you could do, I guess, if you're not sinking. A lot of nothing, actually. Just pick up all the core enforcer stuff. If you want, you're not sinking, so you can't do super sinker. I guess hold hostage if you really want. But yeah, there's really not too much going if you're not really sinking with her. Cause that's not that she's bad unit, she's a great unit. It's just that like her grid's kind of whatever, right? Anyways, moving on. Let's get to 1,000 waves, I guess. 1,000 waves, you could definitely hold hostage over here, right? And super duper effective, because I'm assuming you're going to be using her against ground weeks if you're doing 1,000 waves, or else why are you using 1,000 waves? Because again, core force is just better, right? There you go, 1,000 waves there, 1,000 waves there, and voila, you got yourselves 1,000 waves grid, right? So yeah, there's that, I guess. And yeah, I wouldn't really build a 1,000 waves grid with her also sinking as well, because if you are actually fighting ground weak, you probably want, you know, something that could get you a bit better. Not that her, you know, sync otherwise is bad, off type or whatever, it's fine, but you know, generally you want to sync with the X support, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So anyways, let's yeah, it looks like the team builder on the Synchron Helper is a bit broken. Serena, Zygarde, they have it, it's just the image doesn't show. You know what, let's put it. Alright, we'll just have like regular Serena in there just for placeholder. Just pretend this is Serena Zygarde, just so it looks a bit better. So anyways, yeah, what you want to, it still looks so awkward. Obviously, in the best case scenario, you would want Lucas Dialga over here, right, to give you that extra Dragon Zone for your damage. And then over here, I think the best option would be something like a Raihan, right? Raihan Flygon, this would be incredible, this team, right? Obviously, you would want Raihan, you know, to take the hits. You could take a few hits, right? With the extra Sandstorm up and stuff. In this case, right, you got Dragon Zone set up, you got Dragon Zone Roar of Times, you got Dragon Zone Core Enforcer, then you got Dragon Zone. You could throw in a, you know, Max Wormwind there as well, which is again very, very nice. You could, you know, you could sync with whoever you want, right? All three are really good sinkers. That's a weird move. And yeah, it's just a very, very powerful Core Enforcer team. Raihan gives you super effective up next. Raihan also can give you physical and special up next, right? Well, in this case, special up next. So this is fantastic, I feel, right? In terms of a team. Obviously, if you don't have that, there's some other options you could do that. Near Sabrina obviously is really good. Sad. Near Sabrina, Chingling also will give you the special up next as well for this team. Probably a bit better, you know, with tanking and all that, because you could heal all of that. What else? Yeah, there's just whatever. I mean, you could throw these two in there, and then like the third option could really just be whatever, right? Maybe someone who could give us restrain or whatever. Actually, I don't think I can give them restrain reliably, right? You probably just want to restrain with Serena herself, or Sing Serena, and then in here you probably just throw in someone who could max out her stats, because you know it's a 3-turn thing, right? You probably want to use your training move, 1 crit buff, and then 1,000 waves to restrain if you are syncing with Serena, right? Assuming you're syncing with Serena, get the you know, get complete form Zygarde in there, all that stuff, and get the extra 50% off your, you know, with your sync move as well. Then you want to restrain. In that case, you need a crit buffer, right, just to max it out. Which again, just any crit buffer would do in this case. If you are running her for ground type damage, however, right, got some other options. Groudon would be a solid one, obviously, because it's Groudon, right? And then over here you want something like a maybe Sonya Yamper to give you move gauge acceleration for the team, deep out the opponent's physical defenses, right? Take hits, etc., all that stuff. Which is nice. So there's that. Over here, outside of Groudon, I guess you could run like Sand if you really want to. You could do something like maybe Ingo and Cynthia, something like that. And then you could run your Sands of Time if you really want. It's not that big of a deal. So yeah, something like that maybe, right? A bit. Or if it's just her by herself, then you could just do something like B Vanilla for the physical attack up next, or again you still throw in Raihan and then throw in, I don't know, some other random damage dealer or whatever you want to put in here. So yeah, that's I guess things with Serena, right? All right, moving on to Ramos and Victreebel over here. Obviously a tech unit, it's mostly going to be a sleep bot spam, right? Honestly, I'm not very impressed with its grid. It's kind of whatever, like, you know, you got your basic stuff in there, which is nice and fine, but not too much interesting things around. So yeah, let's just, you guys know what Ramos does. We're not gonna go over all that stuff. Let's just get into Ramos's grid and lucky skills and all that stuff. You can do Troublemaker with him, right? So the sleep powders, you know, increases accuracy for that. Otherwise, I don't really know. Another defense crush? I don't know. Just go with Troublemaker, man. Troublemaker on him is fine. Anyways, let's look at the grid. So I'm gonna just straight up assume 3 out of 5 because like you guys already pulled like a billion Ramoses by now. So let's just go for like a purely just sleep bot sort of grid first. You want obviously sleep powder over here. Accuracy if you don't have Troublemaker, I guess, but I'm assuming you all have it. But if you don't, you could pick up the accuracy plus pinpoint entry if you want, right? So you get the accuracy +1 over there, and then that gives you what, up to 90, right? That, yeah, basically makes it so it doesn't miss either. But again, assuming you all have whatever it's called again, that thing, right? That thing. X speed, MP refresh is nice, so you can max out your speed. Always nice to have your sleep up be as fast as possible, right? First aid is okay. It's only 2, but I mean it's something. I mean, just look at the rest of this kid. You don't really have too much going on. Let's be real. All right, so yeah, what else? Is there some more speed nodes? There's another speed node over there. There's another one over here. If you're running at Sun, then speeding Sun, I guess. Yeah, nothing too much else. If you want, you could do the Bulletsy defense crush, you know, to get some extra stuff doing when, you know, you're not spamming sleep or X speed, right? So there's that, right? Just debuff the opponent's defense a bit is pretty nice, I'd say, right? And then what else? Oh, there's another speed node. And I don't know, HP. Sure, or something like that, right? Something like that. If you really want to, I don't know, do like Sync Nuke Ramos for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess you can. You know, you could do something like, let's see, where is it? There's Rude Awakening over here, Sync Move Power Up, double down to, I guess. Pick up the Sync over here. And I like just don't even bother with his regular moves, honestly. Just if you want, you could do some Sync Nuke thing with him, which again, not that good, but I mean, what can you do? It's Ramos, right? Pick some attack nodes, maybe some speed here and there. If you want, Berserker, right? That helps, you know, so you don't have to bring anyone to buff your attack. Just need someone to buff your crit, I guess, coming in. And yeah, there we that's basically it. I guess you probably still want to sleep powder move gauge refresh just because, right? Because you want to put them to sleep so you get the extra stuff over here. In terms of team comps, there's nothing much. Just throw them in like any battle you want to use a sleep unit in, right? It's not depending on what units you want to build around him. It's more so what stages you need him in. Just throw him in there, right? Make sure you have enough speed on your team, at least, just to spam everything, right? And that's it, I guess. Ramos. It's Ramos. What else do I? It's a sleep bot. It's nice. It's not super, you know, complex. It's just got some sleep stuff. You have a random meme nuke if you want to do that for fun. So there's that. Alright, next let's talk about Wikstrom. He can actually do some solid damage, honestly, under like Steel Zone, so there's that, I guess, right? Anyways, again, in terms of lucky skills, you could do something like a crit strike too, I guess. You could do whatever else you want. There's a lot of other things that you could maybe throw in there with him. Maybe like defense crush if you're really not using him for damage. Although, I mean, if you use them, I'd say you could either use them for damage or as like a clutch sort of a tank-ish for like a few hits with like King Shield or whatever. Maybe Vigilance if you really, really, really want. Healthy healing? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, there's a few different ways you could run him, right? Again, either you go for the nuke or you go for this guy tanking, right? Which again, a few options over there. You have Inspire Ire, which is actually really, really nice because when you King Shield, you don't have to use him as the main tank. You can use him as an off tank, and then like you can Inspire Ire when you know there's a big like attack coming from them from scripted stages, right? So that's actually pretty nice. That I generally pick up, I'd say, right? You go for the MP refresh, so you get MP refresh, right? Basically, and yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, that's mainly for a more tank-ish, off-tank-ish sort of thing that you want to do with the Aegislash, I guess. And then offensively, you could do something with Ironhead Aggravation, so you keep them flinch. Again, this is more of a defensive thing that you could do with him, right? And what else? You could do Shield Strikes Barricade if you really want, I guess. I personally don't care too much for it, right? And you can still get some damage in even with a more defensive build, right? Do something like that, do some damage, right? Or that if you want instead. So this could be something you could do if you want to do more of him sinking sort of a deal, right? You could do something like this instead, right? Obviously dropping some of the other stuff. Maybe drop the MP actually that's a bit not worth it, isn't it? Right? That is a bit not very worth it. Maybe it's slightly expensive. It is expensive, honestly. Maybe drop the aggravation. I don't know, I like the aggravation though. Like, again, I think it's not bad. It's just I don't care too much for it. To be honest, I'd rather run them without the sync stuff, which is a bit nicer, I feel, right? Anyways, where was it again? Oh yeah, I don't like Harry. You could do something like that maybe. I don't remember whatever my last grid was. You guys remember what it is? That one was better. I'm lost. Anyways, yeah, that's oh yeah. You pick up one of these. Yeah, I remember now. Whether it's Harry or super, obviously super duper effective is a bit more reliable. So, but also it has to be super effective, obviously. So yeah, there's that. I guess, right? You can pick up a few more power-ups over here and there. So yeah, that's Aegislash, I guess, right? And in terms of team comps, also Sharp Entry if you don't want to bring in another offensive support. That's another thing. Yeah, in terms of team comps, this could be something that you could go for, right? Where you set Steel Zone for Aegislash. You also have Sharp Entry to max out, his crit. So again, you don't have to bring in another offensive support. Although you still want something like defensively, so you still throw in like something like a Sonya, just so you could take a few hits. Again, using Aegislash as the main tank is slightly suspect, right? But you could definitely off tank, with him to Inspire Ire, draw some aggro when there's like a huge hit coming, like a Gig Impact or Hyper Beam from one of those Legendary Arena scripted stages. And you can have Sonya again tank regularly, right? And then Tackle, which could debuff the opponent's physical defense. That helps, obviously, and also flinch maybe if you want, if you picked up Harry or whatever, right? So there's that. If you do want Sync Nuke, I mean, Marnie's also still good for that, for the debuffs over there, right? So yeah, Marnie Wikstrom actually just works out very well, I feel, right? Yeah, also gives the movie challenge. I mean, you guys know what Sonya does. She's a billion other things. I mean, you could just run like a regular tank that doesn't give you much offensively at all. Maybe if you really want, like Swana or whatever. But which I'm not a huge fan of. But whatever, right? Again, just a lot of options. I wouldn't really run him outside of Steel Zone though, because his damage's not that good outside of Steel Zone. It's not like terrible, but it's definitely want to try to run him in Steel Zone to actually have some impact offensively, I'd say, right? All right, last one today. Wulfric and Avalugg over here. So Wulfric Avalugg, probably the worst of these. He's just very. It just kind of sucks because he has Ice Fang, right? Which is not very good, because of the fact that it flinches and freezes. But in this game, you can't freeze and flinch the opponent at the same time, right? If you freeze them, then you can't flinch them. If you flinch them, well, freeze doesn't really do much, right? Also, he's just like bad overall, so I don't know. I'm sorry. But yeah, in terms of lucky skill, as usual, just something like crit strike or whatever, I guess, if you're trying to do some damage with him. And yeah, I guess. Anyways, moving on to the grid. There's a few things you can do. You can make him into a bit more of a tech-ish sort of unit with like hostile environment here, or aggravation. Which, in my opinion, still kind of sucks, but I mean, that's something, I guess, right? If you really want, because you could also have him, like, be an off-tank-ish as well with this. Take 1 or 2 hits. Also trying to, you know, flinch and freeze the opponent. Well, you got that. And then what else? Oh, there it is. Endurance is down here, right? Maybe get the MP refresh on your trainer move, maybe, instead of something like one of these move gauge refreshes. You could probably, yeah, pick up that, I think. Yeah, I think that's a bit better, right? MP refresh on trainer move, so you could do it more than once. If you could survive more than once. He probably might not be able to survive more than once, but if you can, then you can do that. With the MP refresh on trainer move, right? Which I do think is a bit, I don't know. It's a bit risky because it's only 40% on like a 1-time use trainer moves. Maybe shielding strikes might be a bit more, might be less risky, but then again, you miss out on the second, you know, aggro drawing, and also it costs a lot, so you'd have to drop a bit more stuff over here, which I don't really know. Maybe you drop endurance, which I'm not a huge fan of dropping. So, tough situation. Maybe drop like one of the hostile environments on Ice Fang, I guess, right? If you want him to do damage, oh my god, what are you gonna do, man? I guess you just go for the sink, right? Which isn't that good. It's just like double down 5 over here, basically. Yeah. What was his Yeah, you do that. It's very bad. I don't even, you know what? Don't even use him to do damage, honestly. Okay, if you really want, right? If you like Wulfric's your guy, you really want to do some damage to this guy, like do something like this maybe. If you want him to sync nuke as well, obviously you can pick up this stuff, maybe. And yeah. That's about it. I guess. Actually, you know what? You could do this instead. Oh, never mind. You're still 1 short. Actually, then you could drop this. Yeah, there we go. I got move gauge fresh. Anyways, well, that's gonna be it for this one. I guess. Oh yeah, I forgot team comp for this guy. What are we gonna run with? Wulfric, man. Again, it really depends. Like, if you want to just flinch someone, then just run it. Or again, it really depends on the opponent rather than what you want to run over here, right? Maybe in like a Holiday Leon setting or Ice Steven setting to help with the flinch/freeze. But like, here's the thing though, even with aggravation 2, even with double hostile environment, the chances of freezing and flinching for him on Ice Fang is still pretty trash, right? Unfortunately, so Yeah. You know. What do you want to do with this guy? Anyways, that's me this one, I guess. Hope y'all enjoyed, guys. Think in the comments down below. Like, share this video, for our channel, some more content. I'll see you guys tonight, then, when we try to pull on Serena and Zygarde. So good luck, folks. If you guys are pulling as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one.